Aloha, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Jessica's channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to stop aimlessly wandering in your life and give your life purpose and direction. And there's nothing wrong with aimlessly traveling and really exploring and seeing things and just wandering, but it really becomes an issue in your life and really makes you stagnant when that wandering has no purpose, when it's just constant trying to find answers outside of yourself, trying to look outside of yourself for answers, for purpose, when really purpose comes from within. It comes from you. And as a fellow Sagittarius, I know exactly what this feels like because I spent most of my 20s traveling and exploring and just being in that wanderer state. Like, all I wanted to do was travel, but it's so important to be able to ground that knowledge and to be able to give it back, because that's really what this life is about. And when you give it back, you also give it to yourself, because you're able to articulate it, you're able to piece it together, you're able to put it together in a way that makes sense to you, that you found your answer, that you are speaking your truth, that you are speaking what you know to be. And so it's so important to not only do it for yourself, but do it for others. So what does the word wander mean? So it's a noun, and it means a person who travels aimlessly. And again, we don't want to be an aimless in life, because when we let our mind control our life and we don't give it direction, it's not going to be fruitful. It's not going to get us anywhere. It's just going to be catching your attention here and there, and your attention and your imagination and your focus are so important. They are what create your reality. So it's so important to give your mind that direction and to give your life purpose, because your life depends on it. Your love depends on it. Your joy depends on it. When you're able to give back to others and yourself, it's that fulfillment that gets activated, that gets to be opened, and your heart gets to be shared with others, and it's such a gift. So we're going to look at 7 steps to be more purposeful and how to stop just being aimless about your life and to really give it direction. So the first and foremost that is super, super important is to create a vision. This is so important. This really directs your life. It directs your focus. It directs who you are. It really is you connecting to that higher self, you connecting to that most loving version of yourself, that life that you love, that is full of love, that you're worthy of. It's really you seeing your truth, seeing the best possible outcome, and knowing that it is possible. And at first, you're the only one who's going to see it, but others will soon see it as you action towards it and build it for yourself. But always keeping that vision to yourself. This means sitting down next to your bed when you wake up and really connecting to that vision that you want for your day, and doing this every single day, and this will completely transform your life. Number 2 is know your why. So why are you doing the things that you're doing? Why are you choosing your actions? Why are you choosing to be more purposeful, to not be aimless? Is it because you want to create a life that you want to give back, you want to create something everlasting, you want to be fulfilled, you want to create something that is fruitful? It's really connecting back to your why. A lot of people find purpose in love and what they love to do. So always connect it back to you and really why you love to do the things that you do. And when things get hard, always come back to that. Always come back to your why. Why are you doing it? Because things are going to come up, and you can always stop. That's the easiest thing, but it's really that connection to love, to God, that is going to propel you forward and constantly keep you motivated and moving, because in this life, that's what makes everything worthwhile, love. And really, if you're finding it hard to action out your goals, your dreams, really get to the root of why. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. And then why maybe you're not actioning out, and being able to change those thoughts, pull the root out as to why you don't feel worthy maybe of your dream, of your goals, of your purpose, and change it for a more loving thought and reminding yourself that you are worthy. So number 3 is focus on your target by setting clear, attainable goals. This is really, really important, because oftentimes people get so overwhelmed with the idea of their dream being so big and being so large that they can't even fathom how they're going to bring it to fruition, how they're going to bring it to life. But the key here is to write your goals down and really break them down little by little. That literally, if it means starting out with working on your dream for 5 minutes a day and then building on that from 10 to 20 to 30 minutes. But that is how instrumental change, and that's how your habits change, and that's what creates a beautiful, life-lasting foundation that changes your life. It's that small butterfly effect. When you change something small, it changes your whole life. And if you incorporate it in your life and your work, it's going to change everything. So really knowing that when you focus on your target and your dreams and you write them down and you have something tangible to look at and to say, this is what I'm working towards, you are 10 times more likely to be successful, because you're committing to yourself, you're writing it down, you're setting them to be specific, measurable, and that have a time limit on them. Because as always, we can always set goals, but if we have no time frame on when we want to accomplish them, they can just be sitting there for months. So that is really, really important, getting clear and serious about what you want to obtain and making them reasonable too. I say that, and I also mean that not being afraid to fail. If you don't meet a goal and you set out to, also celebrate that. Really celebrate that, because in this life we're going to fail. It's going to happen, and it's going to be beautiful, and there's no other way for us to learn sometimes. And not being afraid of that failure. There's this quote that's coming to mind that says, fear says, what if? And faith says, even if you fail, you're still going to get back up and try again, because you are resilient and you know that your purpose and that love is worth the fight, worth the, I don't even want to say fight, it's worth the adventure. It's worth the you discovering yourself in all these beautiful new ways. It's worth it. You're worth it. So really be intentional about your goals and the little incremental steps that you set forward to achieve your path, because when you set those little steps, they really are stepping stones. And by the time you look back in 3 months, in 4 months, in a week even, you're going to just realize how far you've come. So 4, be your own inner team. This means flowing with life and knowing that it can be easy, it can unfold organically, it doesn't have to be hard. There's no reason for it to be hard. You are naturally connected to your purpose. You are naturally connected to love. You are naturally connected to the best version of yourself. Life is always guiding you to be your highest self. So you really just have to flow. And that means being connected with your mind, body, and soul. That you really need to understand yourself. And sometimes that means discovering who you are in these new spaces, in this new unknown. Maybe building a business or building something that you want for yourself is going to require you to step into those unknown places. So like maybe, you thought data wasn't your strongest suit, but now that you're analyzing, you're doing all these things and you're tweaking these things, you're realizing that you actually really like it and that it's really fun, or that maybe public speaking isn't the thing that you look forward to, but now that you are putting yourself out there, you're seeing that it's actually something that you enjoy and that it's not as scary as you thought. So really knowing that you get to discover yourself in these new spaces, and when you do that, be gentle with yourself and be kind. And there are going to be days that look different and days that you might not want to do something, or that you're more tired. So being able to flow and being able to meet yourself where you're at. Not to say that you're going to take it easy on yourself and that you're not going to be dedicated and be strict with your goals, but that you're going to be compassionate with yourself throughout this process. And 5 is probably the most important one out of all of the list. It's action, because nothing is going to change without you creating that action, without you taking all that you've learned, believing in yourself, and then doing the thing that you say you're going to do. This is essential. This is so essential. And back when I was talking about, if you notice that there's some resistance in you taking action, really understand yourself, journal through it, ask yourself, why is there resistance here? What is stopping me? Get to the root of that cause, of that thought, and then change it. Change the thought so you are able to take action, because you are worthy of the life that you've dreamed of. And I want to remind you that it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. The world doesn't need a know-it-all. The world needs someone who is so purposeful and joyful about what they do and what they love. You're not going to have it all figured out, but it's up to you to give yourself a shot and to try. It's up to you. No one is going to give you the life that you want. You have to give it to yourself. And that really means loving yourself enough to believe in yourself and to give yourself that love, that life that you want, because you are worth it. You are. And number 6 is perfect transition. Never give up on yourself. Now, there are some people that are not going to believe in you or not going to believe in your dream, and that's totally fine, because you're going to believe in yourself and you're going to really be so firm in you knowing that it's going to happen for you, because you're going to make it happen. And this really connects to number 1, which is creating that vision again. It's really seeing your vision and seeing that life for yourself. It's really you connecting to yourself and knowing what you want, and knowing that you seeing it, you feeling it, you knowing deep in your heart that it's going to happen is enough. No one else has to see it. They will, like I said, they will eventually. But that's the difference that sets successful people apart from people who are not, is they really are resilient, they're steadfast, they have grit, they never give up on themselves, because they truly believe and they know that they can do it. And you can do it. You are so much more powerful than you think. So really never give up on yourself, because you're going to regret it if you do. And step number 7 is cultivate gratitude. It's really being gentle with yourself and really looking back and just being grateful for all of the things that you've uncovered, all of the journey that you've gone through, all of the lessons that you've learned, whether they were more difficult lessons or more easier lessons or more fun lessons, knowing that they all brought you a beautiful token of wisdom and that they were exactly what you needed. And just like you were given those lessons, you're going to be giving these lessons moving forward that are going to be exactly for you. So whenever you step into the world, and even when you come back to your home, bring that wisdom, bring that happiness back home with you, and know that when you step out into the world that you are also meeting the world where it's at, where you're at. It's a perfect balance. It's a perfect match. and it's teaching you something. It doesn't mean you have to absorb it. It doesn't mean you have to take on those mirrors and reflect back to them. No, it means that you get to really see yourself and decide who you are. I am, you get to embody who you say you are. And really understanding that life is our greatest teacher. In conclusion, really knowing that we are always guided, we are so blessed, and we're always being naturally flowing in the best course for us to be our highest and most best self. So there's nothing to fear. This is exciting. Really sit down with yourself and learn from these steps, and really get clear on what you want to create in this life. And don't be aimless. Be purposeful. Be intentional about your life, because you're going to look back and you're going to really be so thankful that you started today. I hope that was helpful. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. I'll talk to you next time.